So let's take this baby apart. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am your host, the most famous YouTuber in the world that no one has ever heard of. Remember this guy? The first thing we're going to have to do is take those cables off. I'm thinking we take the cables off, unplug the motors, take the bench out, flip it around, it's all off. I am going to disconnect the limit switch and the Y motors next. Thought I could do this without removing these pieces. No, they got to come out. Y motors disconnected. I have my limit switches disconnected. I have a clear shot at all the nuts and bolts. As you can see, I've taken the gantry off and I kind of laid it down over there. So that's out of the way. All my wires are detached. Electrical outlet's off. Now I think the next step is going to be to turn this table around. 2 bolts are going to have to go back in that leg because that's going to be in the front. And then that leg, we're going to have to take those out. That's where the clamp's going to go when we put the drag chain back. It'll make sense in a minute. Probably not. This is where the drag chain was hooked up in the first place. So we're going to take these screws from the far corner and put them in here. Wow, we got her halfway turned. Yeah, that ain't good. Right. Well, we got it turned around. Start. Now we got to put it back together again. Okay, a little tip for you. When you're vacuuming, you hear a little clink. It's because you were stupid and sucked the nut up into the vacuum. No! So now I have to go through that. What's that saying? Oh. Ah! Aha! Found it. That crisis is over. Next thing we're going to do is move this plate to this side. I'm going to move my brass stops that I put in to the other side. Now, with the limit switch over here, I want to run it back down to the end there. I want to run it down there so I don't have to stretch the wires. But first, it's always a good time. This is the perfect time to lube these rails up. Before you run it down. We'll get there. A couple bolts back in this. This one doesn't quite line up yet. Right? One of these things. Give it a couple cranks and off it goes. We are ready for a test run. We're going to move the gantry that way with that button. Crap. Okay, we're going to move it this way with that button. Alright, one of these codes makes it go the other way. I know it. Give me a minute. Alright, so this seems to be an easy fix. In the command box and candle. This chart is for this here. So what I did was I went 3 equals 2. So I did not reverse X, I did reverse Y, and I did not reverse Z. And it works fine now. So here we have moving to the back of the machine. Forward, right, left, up, and down. So that's all it took. I'm going to tidy up these wires. And that's it, I think. We've got our limit switch. I do need to tram this thing, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from here to here on both sides and calibrate the machine, give it a little twisty so it's square. But other than that, we're done. And that's how you swap them around. Now I've got the motors up front if I do need to adjust them, and My goal here is to build a box around this with dust collection, so all the dust goes backwards and doesn't end up out here on the floor and on me.